Hello, ZVCrew here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over on how we're going to add music to our time lapses, as well as a sound clip for our ringing phone. Next thing I want to do is go ahead and add some music and also that phone sound clip. I like to go ahead and add them as separate audio clips instead of just because if you drag them onto this timeline here, it will overwrite everything. It will make your video dark like this. So we don't want to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is since we are done editing this part of this video, we're going to click the little lock here. What that does is it makes it so you cannot overwrite this at all. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and click here, and we are going to add an audio track. Okay, well, I have two time lapses, and I'm also going to add a sound clip. So actually what I'm going to do is we're going to add a total of 3 audio clips, so we need to add 2 more. So 2 and 3. Okay. So the way I work the audio clips is I do it in order. So audio 1 is going to be the first time lapse. So let's go ahead and go over to where the first time lapse happens, which is right here. Perfect. So this is our first spot we're going to add a music clip. So what I like to do, you can actually rename these. It does help you keep everything organized. And it is as simple as I rename it to TL1 and hit enter. And that is time-lapse 1 audio clip. Okay, so obviously that will do that. Next thing is we need to see what the next is. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we actually have time-lapse 2. So same thing, we're going to rename this to time-lapse 2. So TL2. There we go. Okay, and then the final thing was the phone ringing click. So we will have to find it in the video to add it. So we're just going to change this to, since we know it's going to be a phone, we're just going to name it phone. Next thing I do is I lock clip 2 and clip 3 because I only want to work with clip 1. When I add any audio to the video, I only want it to be written into time-lapse 1. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of time-lapse 1, which is right here. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do, you need to figure out how long your audio needs to be. So I'm going to check the time. So you do have your current time where you're at in your video right here. So take note of it, 2 minutes, 7 seconds. And then we're going to go to the end of the time lapse. We're at 4 minutes, 47 seconds. So that is almost a full 3 minutes. So what you're going to do, you're going to go back to the beginning of it. And before I add anything else, we are going to save our project. It's as simple as going up here, hit save, naming it, whatever you're going to be working on. Now this is basically an how-to. So I just name it how to underscore part. This is part 2, so I'm just going to add a 2. Hit enter, and it automatically saves. What's nice to think about that is because we are going to go out of this clip here and go to someplace else to find some audio. Now, you need to make sure when you're adding audio to your video, you are using no copyright music. There are sites out there that offer this. Some of them are pay, some of them are free. I know that a lot of people use Epic Sound. that is a monthly subscription fee, but there are thousands of clips on there that you are able to use for free, and most of them you do not have to give credit to in the video descriptions. I actually use the audio library from YouTube because it is free, it's easy to use, you don't have to pay a subscription to use it. So what you're going to do is you are going to go to the channel dashboard right here. So now, once you're on your channel dashboard, in your YouTube studio, on the left column here, everything else is, unfortunately, I'm going to blur out part of the screen because I don't want you to see any analytics from my channel. But anyway, on the left here, if you look down, you see Audio Library. Go ahead and click on it. It's going to open a new tab, and it's going to list some music for you. So you can use any music in this audio library. Some of them do require a credit in your video description. Some do not. Everything listed here on this screen is you're free to download it, free to use it. You do not have to give any credit. So the next thing I want to do is choose my duration to match my video. Well, we determined from our clip that we need about a 3-minute music song. So let's go ahead and click on duration and choose 2:30 to 3 minutes. I usually start there and see how it works. Now all you need to do, go through the list and find the perfect song. So you just can click here. And just look through and see if you can find any songs that you like that fit the bill. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and pick my 2 songs I need for both of my time lapses. You do the same steps. Once you pick a song here, you go ahead and download it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will catch back up with you once I have my music picked. Okay, I have gotten some music picked out for my video. So we are back. I still need to download the last song for the second time lapse. So I wanted to go ahead and show you something here. So in the music library, you'll see here this song, Back to the Wood by Audionautics. This is the song I'm going to go ahead and use for my second time lapse. However, it does have a credit that you do need to add to your video description in order to use the song. It's as simple as copying and pasting this into your description. One thing I actually do is I go ahead and copy it, and then I go into my folder wherever I'm going to keep all the parts to this video to, and I just add a new text document. And I name it Song 1, Song 2, Song 3, in this case it's Song 2, and put credit. The reason why I do a text document, it doesn't take up very much space, and all you need to do is paste in your song credit that you would need to add to your video description, and then just make sure you save it before you exit out of it. That way, when you're ready to do that, you have it all saved. You don't have to try to go find the song in the music library again. Next thing you need to do is go ahead and actually download the song. So you just save it to your folder that you're working with. Okay, we are done with the audio library. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this out. Go back to Shotcut, and let's go ahead and get our songs added into our video. Okay, we are back at the beginning of our first time lapse. It's as simple as opening and dragging and dropping. So let's go ahead and add our file here. So the first song we're going to be doing is Billy and the So so when you add the song, it automatically starts playing. And now see, you don't have any video here. With the same thing, all you need to do is drag it down here. See how it kind of snaps to your playhead? Just go ahead and snap it to your playhead at the beginning of your time lapse. Let go of it, and it plops it down. Now what I like to do is actually have the music start a little bit before we start our time lapse. So all you need to do is go ahead and drag it over just a little bit to about wherever you want to. My rule of thumb is because Shotcut puts these little preview windows here, I tend to line the music up with those preview videos. It just makes it easier for me and a little bit cleaner. I know I'm the only one that sees this, but it's a little bit my OCD. And now that we added another clip, it will add another stop point here to where you can stop forward, backwards, wherever in your editing. So let's go ahead and click the back button here. It'll take it here and hit play. Okay, so now obviously we can't play through a time lapse. That's why it was stuttering. Well, that looks about right. You can add in a audio fade in on this if you want. You can just let it start abruptly. Sometimes what I will do is we will go back and add a fade out here so it cuts out the tractor sound. The reason we're doing that is so we don't have an abrupt tractor cutoff when this goes. So let's go ahead and finish adding our music, and then we're going to add the audio cut in and out here. So let's go ahead and go to the end of our first time lapse. We actually need to check and see how the song is a little bit longer than our time lapse. All you need to do is just make sure that it doesn't overlap any vocals that you have added to the video. So we're just going to go ahead and hit play here and see what happens. Okay, that seems about right. So, and the song works. So we're going to go ahead and lock audio track 1. Now we want to go ahead and add the song for the second time lapse. So let's unlock track 2. Go to the beginning of the second time lapse, which is right there. Now this is the song that we do have to credit in our description. But you go ahead and hit open. We're going to add Back to the Woods. Same thing, drag it down, snap it to your playhead. And see how I drag it down to audio track 1? It didn't let me do that because I have it locked. Let's try this again. We're going to go to track 2. There we go. Perfect. And then drag it over just a little bit. I go ahead and try to get about there. Okay, let's go back and see how that looks. Perfect. Okay, let's go to the end, make sure that our song doesn't interfere with too much. Oh, we're a little short, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of the time lapse. And we're going to go ahead and drag this back to snap it to the playhead. Now let's go back to the end here. And that's okay if it cuts a little off the end. It's not a big deal. We're pretty close. I could say if you're a full 20, 30 seconds off, I would look for a little bit longer song. But that works okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play here. It's going to be a little choppy because we are still in the time lapse. Well, that'll work. Just finishing up the last little strip here, and that'll work for us here. So let's go ahead and lock audio track 2. Now we need to add the ringing phone sound clip that for that spot where I called the shop. So go ahead and unlock 3. We actually just need to find where I called the shop. So let's take a look here. Looks like we're right about here. So let's go ahead and hit play. Okay, let me go ahead and give the shop a call and see if they can get that installed. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our phone ringing sound clip. And go ahead and drag it down. Put it in there. Okay, and then hit play. Well, it only took them That's a little too close to the transition, so let's go ahead and drag it back just a tad. Go back. Let the computer catch up. Well, it only took them a couple hours. That'll work. Okay, let's go ahead and lock audio clip 3. Now, we want to go ahead and go back to the main video and add in the fade in, fade out filters around our time lapses. So let's go ahead and unlock that. And let's go back and do that. So we go back here. Okay, so we are back at the beginning after the second time lapse. It's as simple as going up to filters. You need to click on the clip first. Go to filters, go under audio, and we're actually going to add in fade in audio. Okay, don't need to do anything else with it. That 1 second fade in is just fine. We're just finishing up the last little strip. Okay, did you notice that the tractor just doesn't automatically come on right after our time lapse? Go ahead and we're going to hit play one more time. We're just finishing up the last little strip. Okay, so now we're just going to go back and do the same thing before our time lapse. Just go ahead and hit the back. Okay, except this time we're going to take the clip here and we're going to add fade out audio. That way the tractor sound doesn't just abruptly stop. And then same thing, we're going to go before the time lapse and add fade out here. That just makes it the audio gets a little bit cleaner. It's not so abrupt with things. Okay, so after this, if there's any other additional things we need to do, I don't think so. The last thing I like to do is go ahead and lock the main clip just so we don't do any additional edits. We're going to go ahead and save here because we are happy with what we did. And then I go ahead and hit play. Good morning. So all you need to do is just go through and check your video, make sure it's exactly how you want to publish it. And then from that point, you are ready to go ahead and render, which is what we are going to be doing next time. So join me next time for part 3. We're going to go ahead and render the video and get it uploaded to YouTube, set up the description on YouTube, and actually publish it, ready for the public to view. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit like and comment below. For all the latest from ZVCrew, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Also, feel free to join my Discord. The link is in the description below. Thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.